Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel all about BA. This video comes under What's New playlist. I'm going to discuss some of the recent updates that are provided to Azure Data Factory by Microsoft. Okay, if you have had a look at this announcement icon recently, right, you would have seen lots of updates being rolled out. Okay, since Jan itself, we have had around 7 to 8 updates from January 2 till the recent past, right, till July 9. We have had lots of small updates, but they are all wonderful updates. Okay, I'm going to touch upon a couple of them in this session. So the first thing is new homepage experience. Okay, so if you have had a chance again and looked at the home page, right, it's all looking new and elegant. Okay, so they have created home page in such a way that it is it is understandable, it is intuitive, and it is very useful. Okay, so if you have a look at it, right, you have the flexibility to create a new pipeline, new Power Query, new data flow from home page itself. Okay, apart from that, you get to see different options like how it was in the earlier version. Alright, so if you want to use copy data tool, you can click on ingest, and then you will have option to use the copy data tool, and one more tool that I'm going to tell you with respect to copy data only. Okay, so this is number 2, and you have the option to set up code repository in the top, and then if you scroll little down, right, so this is under preview. So discover more, this section is being built, it is under preview, it's not into public usage till now. And recent resources, whichever pipelines we have recently used, that all is being listed here. So it is very useful one. We can land on the home page, click on the resource to directly reach that particular pipeline. Okay, just like how we have in the Visual Studio. And then we have the features showcase, in the sense what are all the features that we can explore more. Okay, so we can for example integrate Azure Purview with Azure Data Factory. Like that, you will have lots of features being showcased here. Okay, and then if you come a little bit down, we have the resources to learn more. We have the tutorials, the videos, and other stuff that we can go through, and then useful links. Okay, so this is how it has been structured, and it's very useful and wonderful to make use of this particular version of UI or the home page, I would say. Okay, so this is all about the home page update that we have got recently. Apart from that, we have got couple of improvements to the copy data tool. We have already discussed the way how we use copy data tool in one of our earlier videos. Okay, but recently there has been couple of updates that are provided to the copy data tool, which makes it even more usable. Okay, so if you have a look at the announcements, right, with respect to copy data tool, new experience with Azure Data Factory copy data tool. This was the first update provided to the copy data tool. Redesigned copy data tool is now available with improved data ingestion experience. So just have a look at how it works. I'm going to take you through the other update now. Metadata driven data ingestion pipelines on ADF copy data tool within 10 minutes. Okay, literally they mean it. Within 10 minutes we can create pipelines and we can let the copy data work by itself. We do not have to make much changes or much coding is required. It is very simple to use. I'm just going to tell you how it works today. Okay, within 10 minutes we are able to load or copy data from multiple tables. Okay, so why this particular update is being rolled out? In case you have around 1000 or 2000 tables, okay, I'm not talking about the size of each table, I'm just talking about the numbers. If you have lots of tables to be copied or lots of files to be copied, basically you're trying to do some copy activity from any source to any source, and you have the number of objects are more. What you can do is you can simply use this copy data tool to make your job much simpler. Okay, I'll take you through the changes now. Click on ingest. I'll just publish my changes before I take you through this. I'm done with publishing. So if you click on ingest, you will have two options. One is built-in copy task, This is the copy data tool that we discussed earlier. So when you look at the definition, right, you will get single pipeline to copy data from 90 plus data sources easily. Okay, so this is going to be a simple pipeline which lets you copy from one source to another source, or from set of sources to set of other sources. Okay, so this is built-in copy activity, and the recent update is provided to this metadata driven copy task. Okay, it's still in preview, it's not for public usage, but it's a very wonderful tool that I wanted to discuss with you. Metadata is required to be stored in external control tables to load data at large scale. Large scale in the sense, as I told, if you have thousands, 2000s of tables or files which needs to be copied into data lake or to Azure SQL or to a Synapse tables, you can make use of this tool. Okay, you just it's a kind of wizard in which you have to click next, and within 10 minutes, as they mean, we are able to copy from different number of sources to different number of destinations. Okay, so once you click on it, you will have this is nothing but you have lots of tables to be copied, but how do we control where the sources are residing, or how do we tell the pipeline from where to pick up the data from? So for that, they are making use of a control table. So in our earlier sessions, we have discussed a lookup table or lookup file kind of, wherein we used to store information of the sheets to be copied with respect to Excel, or tables to be copied with respect to SQL database and all. Okay, literally we had a lookup file or lookup table which told the pipeline from where to take the source data from. Okay, similarly they call it control table, which is going to control the copy activity end to end. Okay, this control table is going to be the script for the control table is going to be generated automatically based on the sources you choose. Okay, I'm going to take you through that. So it's all very easy, no need to worry at all. I'm just choosing control table data source. So we have to tell this tool where can it create, or where can it generate the control table. Okay, so I'm just choosing Azure SQL database, wherein we can create a control table or use the control table which we have already created. Okay, so if you want to run the wizard one more time with the table that you have already created, we can make use of this option. So by default, if you choose the data store or the database name where you want to create the control table, right, you will be given with this option. This is the schema name that you want to give, and this is the table name. Okay, this table name is called main control table. What it is going to control, you can hover over this and have a look. The metadata will be stored in the control table, so that the generated pipelines can always get value from the control table. Don't confuse with anything. It is just a lookup table kind of, where our pipeline is going to look before doing the copy activity, from what source to what destination we have to copy. Those information is going to be stored in the control table. Okay, if you already have created a control table and you want to make use of it, just disable this and then click on the option wherein you can choose the control table name which we have already created. Okay, so for now I'll say create a new table. I'm not going to give any schema name, and you have the flexibility to repeat this copy process, okay, daily or once in a month or once in a year. So we can basically schedule this copy data pipeline that we are going to create. Okay, so right now we'll say just once. If you say schedule, then along with the pipeline that is going to be created, you will have a trigger also created with it. Okay, so for now let us have the schedule so that I can show you something. So you have to choose the start date of the trigger, and you have to choose the recurrence, how frequently this pipeline should be executed. Okay, so I'm just saying next. Here is where we are going to see something very nice. So we are going to choose the source connection. My source is going to be Azure SQL again. I'm going to say Azure SQL database. So what I'm trying to do is, I have around 16 tables. I don't have many tables, just wanted to show for demo. So I have 16 tables in my Azure SQL database which I want to copy to text files in Azure Data Lake. Okay, so it can be the other way around. Okay, you have multiple text files which you want to copy to SQL. You can use the same format that I am doing now. Okay, once you choose the database, it is listing all the tables that are present in your database. Okay, see here. So almost 16, I think, or 17 maybe. So 16 to 17 tables are present in my source database. So what I can do is I can do a select all. Okay, if you want to copy the views also, then you can click on this. Okay, once you have chosen everything, and you can click on next. It is just a kind of bulk copy from different number of sources. Okay, I'm just saying next. Here you have this loading behavior, whether you want to dump all the data from the source to files, or you want to take selective data, whether incremental load. Okay, so full load all tables, or configure for each table individually. Okay, so you can click on each table and you can decide on the loading behavior, whether you want to do a full load for this table or delta load. In case of delta load, for each table you have to choose a column based on which we have to do the incremental load. Okay, because for each table the column name might be different, so for that they are providing this option. So I'm just clicking on each table and then I'm going to say use delta load. The column name, this is the column watermark column name based on which we have to do the incremental load, and start date and end date. So I can say the watermark column value from 1st of July, I want to load all the records present in my table. That's what I am telling. Okay, so for each table you have to configure like that. So once you are done with that, click on next. We are landing in the place where we choose the destination data store. Okay, in my case it's going to be data lake storage. So I'm just selecting my data lake storage connection, and then you can say the folder path where you need the files to be generated. I'll choose some output folder or input folder that I have in my container. Also here you have the flexibility to create dynamic folders by using the variables year, month and day. Okay, so you have this flexibility as well. And then if you look at the advanced settings here, right, by default all the table source tables, those names will be used for the destination file name. What we are trying to do, we are going to read data from multiple tables and you are going to write it to text files. Okay, so we need name for the text file, right? By default it will take the schema name and table name to be your file name. For example, if you have a table called dbo.testtable, then your file name will be dbo.testtable.txt. Okay, in case you need to change the file name that is going to be generated, we can make use of this option. Okay, so as you can see, the destination file name is going to be the same as the source entity name, which is nothing but the source table name. Okay, you have the flexibility to change the destination file here by clicking on advanced settings, and you can have it as .csv or whatever extension that we need to be in .parquet or whatever be it, right? However we want the data to be stored. Alright, so this is going to be appended to the file name. That's what they are telling. Suffix that will be appended to the file names. Only string interpolation expression is supported. Alright, and then click on next. Once you've done that, once you are done with that, right, we have to see the text format. We have already chosen .text in the previous window, and we have to choose the type of delimiter that we have to use while we create the data files. And then if you want to add header to the file, you can make use of this option. And if you click on advanced, then you have some escape characters and null value handling, so everything is present here. And then once you are done with that, click on next. And here is where we look at some kind of data consistency stuffs to be set here. If you look at the settings here, we have the flexibility to choose number of copy activities. See, if you are this option is to control number of copy activities that are run at the same time or in parallel. Okay, in order to reduce the load on our source database, right? If you are trying to pull information from hundreds of tables in one shot, then it's going to make the database slower, or it's going to be hung. So in order to control that, we have the flexibility to choose number of concurrent copy activities. By default, you leave it to auto. Internally it is going to set as 20, so the default value is 20. So 20 copy activities can take place at the same time. That's what we are choosing here. In advanced settings, we can choose the data consistency verification, fault tolerance option in order to ignore the error or skip incompatible rows and all, right? We have the option here. And then if you want to enable logging, you can do. If you want to enable staging, you can do. If you don't want to do anything, simply click next. And here we can just preview whatever we have already chosen in the previous windows, right? We can just have a look and then click on next. Here is where we are going to be creating data sets, pipelines, triggers, generate SQL script. What is the SQL script? It's nothing but it is the control table script that we are going to get from this place. We can just copy the script and execute in our Azure SQL database, so that the control table is going to be created for us. I told you we need control table for knowing the source and destination pair or destination details, right? For example, my source table is abc dbo.abc and my destination file is dboabc.txt. So this kind of pair of information we need for all the source to destination. So in this place we are going to get the script for it. We will get two scripts, okay? As I have already downloaded, I'll be showing you how that script looks like. It is literally very nice to have this feature, okay? It saves lots of our time. As you can see, we get two SQL scripts generated from this wizard. One is create control table, another is create stored procedure. Okay, so we have chosen delta load for one of the tables, right? So for that we are going to create a stored procedure for it. All right, and then this create control table is going to create a control table with all the source and destination details. If you can see here, so it will have source setting, sync setting. Okay, my source is DBO, table name is build version, and then my destination is going to be DBO build version.txt. It's going to be in the folder path output. File system is nothing but the container name. So like this, if you have chosen delta load, you will be seeing it in the data loading behavior. Okay, for each pair of source and destination, you will have source settings, sync setting, source setting, copy source settings. Here if you have chosen any partitioning option, it will come here. And then if you have chosen to rename your columns based on some translators, you can make use of this, and the trigger name that is going to be created. And then this behavior is what is going to tell you whether it is going to do a delta load or full load. Okay, so these set of information or tags, JSON tags, will be there for all the source tables that we have in hand. Okay, so previously we had for build version, this is column mapping, this is second table. Like that you will have third table, column mapping 1. So as you can see here, you will have same set of tags for each set of source and destination. Okay, literally what we are going to do, we are going to insert source and destination details in the form of JSON file or JSON data format, right? We are going to insert that JSON data to table. We are going to create a table called control table and insert source and destination information in the form of JSON in the same table, control table. Okay, so this piece of information or this piece of SQL query is going to do the creation for you as well as the insertion for you. Okay, so we just have to copy this information and paste it on the Azure SQL database window, and then we have to execute the query in order to create this. Similarly, this stored procedure also we need to create. Once we are done with this, then we can go ahead and say finish. Once we finish, then we are going to get 3 data sets, three pipelines. Why 3 pipelines? I will tell you. Pipelines and activities inside the pipelines for handling the delta load and other stuff, and then we'll have associated data sets with us, and then the trigger. Okay, these many things are going to be created for us. I have already created a couple of times, so I'll just take you through that. So this is how we are going to be getting the pipelines created. Okay, you will have a folder, and inside that folder you will have 3 different pipelines. Okay, you can see that we have a top level pipeline, middle level pipeline, and bottom level pipeline. Why these 3 pipelines are required is, see, if you have lots and lots of tables to be copied, right, we cannot do all the table load in one shot. Okay, so we should have some looping format or looping construct to loop through set of source tables. Okay, in order to loop through and in order to solve the issue with respect to lookup activity, if you have more than 5000 tables and all, lookup activity cannot take details of all those tables from the control table. So we have to have a mechanism to split our input sources into batches. Okay, so for that we are having 3 set of pipelines. One is top level, and this is going to be calling the middle level pipeline, which in turn is going to be calling the bottom level pipeline. So in the bottom level is where we are going to do the actual copy. Actual copy is going to be happening here. And top level pipeline, this is going to be controlling the batches, number of batches or the number of source tables you have. Okay, number of batches to be controlled. So for each batch we are going to have one more set of for each loop to loop through set of smaller batches. If you have 5000 number of sources, right, and you are deciding to load 1000 sources 1000 sources at the same time, you can have 5 for each loops. For example, if you have 5000 source tables, you will have 5 batches if you decide to load 1000 tables in one shot. Okay, so you need not worry about how the internal logics of these pipelines work. It is very simple. It's going to control the number of batches or number of inside each batch, number of activities or copy activities which are going to be executed in parallel. So it's going to control the whole flow basically. Okay, so I'll just take you through the pipeline quickly. Top level pipeline, if you look at the top level pipeline, we have the parameters also created. Okay, based on the values you choose in the wizard, copy data wizard, these values will get populated automatically. So what we are telling here, maximum number of objects returned from lookup activity and the maximum number of concurrent tasks, main control table name. So this is the table name from which our pipeline is going to look for source to destination information, and maximum number of concurrent tasks, that you can understand how many copy activities are going to get executed in one shot. Okay, and number of objects returned from the lookup. See, lookup has the limitation to return 5000 records or 2 MB in size, I think. So if you want to control that information, we can play around with this value. Okay, so we pass these information to this pipeline, and this has a for each loop which is going to execute sequentially. For example, if you have 5000 tables and you have 5 batches, every batch is going to execute sequentially. So you will have 5 executions in sequence. Okay, so this for each loop is going to be controlled sequentially, and it will be executing the batches one by one. Okay, inside this for each loop, if you look at that, right, it is executing a pipeline. We need one more for each loop to loop through the individual tables in each batch. In each batch, if you want to load 1000 tables, right, so we need one more for each loop, which we cannot hold it here. So for that we need one more pipeline. So we are just calling the child pipeline, and if I click that, you will be seeing the middle level. So in this middle level, you are having the for each loop to load the tables in batches. So this particular for each loop is going to get executed in parallel. So the sequential tag is not set. So what you can understand is, at a high level, if you have 5 batches, every batch will be sequential, and inside each batch, if you have 1000 tables, those all will get executed in parallel. Okay, so if you want to know more about this, right, we have this documentation page where they are giving superb details about all the basic stuff that we need to know. Okay, so I wish you go through this page for knowing more about this table, this particular wizard. So if you click on for each loop, then you will get to see one more lookup information. So we need to look up the source and destination information, right? So for that we are getting it, and we are calling one more execute pipeline, which is going to call our third pipeline, which is nothing but the bottom level. So literally to test it, right, I didn't touch any of these pipelines at all. I just set the parameter value in the top level pipeline. I just changed these values and played. Okay, in my case I have number of tables were equal to 16 when I executed this. So I had 4 batches. Okay, I'll show you how it got executed. So when I say 4, my bottom pipeline would be executing 4 times in order to load 16 tables. Okay, so as you can see here, my top level is executed and then middle level, and if you see, bottom level got executed 4 times because I had 16 tables and I wanted to load it in 4 batches. So 4 times my bottom level has executed. Before this execution I had 8. The number of the batch size was 8, in the sense I wanted to execute 8 copy activity in one shot. So there were 2 bottom level execution, 1 top level, 1 middle level and 2 bottom level. Okay, so this is what I wanted to cover in this session. It might have been a bit longer, I'm sorry for that. Just wanted to show you the basics of it so that you can try if you have any scenario like you have to load lots and lots of tables in one shot with minimum coding. Okay, so literally the video might have taken longer time, but actually if you want to try hands with the try, it will take less than 10 minutes as they claim. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. If you have any doubts, let me know in the comment section how I can help, and if you haven't subscribed, I request you to subscribe. Thanks a lot.